wedding inspired movies.
Yeah.
That they're like, I need my workout and I need this. And I'm like, why?
Why
has that
are we
always been a
associating
thing?
beauty with being thin?
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah. And I don't.
Well, it's society.
I know.
It was shoved down our
Society.
throats since we were children.
Yeah.
You can please some of the people all of the time.
You can please all of the people some of the time.
But you can't please all of the people all of the time. Welcome to the People Pleasers Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
I don't know what day it is. Thursday.
Technically, it's not.
Technically, it's not.
Technically, it's not.
So
We were just talking about that.
it's very confusing.
It is.
But you're listening to this on Thursday, so it's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Yeah.
It's Thursday.
Happy day.
Thanks for tuning in,
How was everyone's
guys.
last Thursday? No, I'm just kidding. How was last Thursday, Friday?
So what did you do last Thursday? How's your weekend, Dom? Dom, you were out of town.
I was out of town. Went to Austin, Texas.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw,
How was good old
baby.
Texas?
Did you get any
you tell
merch
it
for
hi for me?
Grace? Sorry.
Oh, I should.
Did you tell it hi for me?
I should
you give it a hug?
Oh,
It's okay.
I gotta go back.
Gotta go back.
Gotta go back. Get on a
Grace says
flight
hi.
real fast. No, it was really good. It was for a bachelorette party. And one of my good friends that I've been friends with for a long time. So it was fun celebrating her and getting to be with all of her closest people too, and just getting to see everyone. But yeah, I really liked Austin, Texas. I'd never been to Texas. I think I've had a layover there before, so
Never
that's-
left the airport.
Yeah, never left the airport. So it was nice getting to explore the city. And I really liked 6th Street. I really liked Rainy Street. We went out a few nights. We had a little boat cruise, and the Airbnb we stayed at was literally so beautiful and had a nice pool. So we got to hang out there.
Weather was nice all weekend.
Yeah, it was nice.
Good.
It was kind of funny because, we're starting to get into fall here, which now it's hot again. But last week it was cooler.
Boo.
And so then it's we went to Austin, Texas, and I was like, oh, man, I didn't think I was going to be in a bathing suit again. I didn't think it was going to be hot. And so, yeah, but it was kind of saying goodbye to summer. Okay, now we're getting back into the fall feel with football and crock pot recipes and all the
Pumpkin
things.
cream. Wait, what is it called? Pumpkin cold
Cream.
foam.
Pumpkin cream.
Pumpkin cream cold foam coffee.
Pumpkin cream cold brew.
There it is.
Very
Yes.
good.
That was nice.
Definitely need this today because feeling a little under the weather with just traveling. And I don't know, every time I get on a flight, I feel like I come home just stuffy and throat hurts, ears hurt and everything. So, but I kind of like when my voice is sick. I feel like it's a little deeper.
You sound more like us.
So
People aren't going to know who's talking this week.
know, literally. So yeah,
It
it was really good. How was your guys' weekend?
Well, first, I want to say
Yeah.
this weekend, I always just like to find my friends and make sure everyone's
Yeah.
good. And I kept checking just to see where you were. And one of my other friends, she had her bachelorette party in Austin this weekend. So every time I'd be like, wait, where's Kelly? Where's Dom? Are they close to each other? Or are they going to
so
you guys were
fun.
always kind of a little bit of distance, but there were a couple times when I looked when you guys were close and I was like, wow, these are two totally different people in my life that were both there
Yeah.
for similar reasons. So yeah,
That's so
I stalked
fun.
you this weekend in case you were curious.
No, I appreciate
I
that.
stalk you guys
love
all the
when
time.
Everyone knows where
Not
I am.
me.
just in case.
Not you, because I still don't
Yeah.
have your location.
Now that you're talking about that, it just reminded me that I still haven't fixed
We're
that.
gonna do that right after the episode.
I'm
I will watch you do it. I will
like,
get in your phone and do it. No, I'm just kidding. I always just like to make sure everyone's safe and everyone's good. You
I
said
do
you were
that
getting on
too.
your flight,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, she got there. I also am constantly checking when Holt's traveling. I'm always like, okay, are you there? Did you make it? Are you at the stadium? Where are you at? So then I'm also like, all right, where's everyone else?
Yeah.
Is everyone else good?
I know. I love doing that too.
I just love it.
Just checking up on our friends
Yeah.
and family. So, yeah.
I'm glad you
Thanks for
had a fun
checking in
weekend.
up on me.
Of
Checking in
course.
up on
Chicken
me.
it, pop,
Chicken
pop, pop, pop.
Checking up on me. Yeah, it was a really good weekend. I would definitely go back to Texas. So, liked Austin. It was fun.
Fun time.
Are you guys gonna move there?
No, I'm not
good.
moving.
All right, so
a
I
little
tell you
too
guys
hot.
I'm leaving. See you later. No, I'm just kidding.
This is my
I would never.
opportunity.
Well, now that you're talking about it, have some news. No.
Please don't.
Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. You're stuck with me, remember?
Yay, yay.
Okay. going anywhere.
Yay!
Always and forever.
The amount of noises I'm gonna make this episode, I'm already off to a good start. So
We really gotta get that Sounds of Sarah going.
I know.
You need some more content.
exactly,
Yeah, you're just helping us out.
exactly. The whole episode will just be Sounds of Sarah.
I love it.
I can't wait.
Actually, please no. I lied.
see.
Bad idea. Horrible idea.
We'll come up with something fun.
Oh,
So you didn't have a wedding.
Nope, no wedding for me.
I did. Yeah, I had a wedding outside of Emporia. So Zach and I and the dogs had a little road trip.
The dogs came too.
The dogs came too. Yep. And we stayed at his granddad's house who lives in Emporia. So that was really fun just to spend outside of the wedding, just quality time. Just Zach, his granddad, and I. I don't think the three of us have ever been together, just the three of us. So it was really fun. We went out to brunch together the day after the wedding. Zach spent the day with him on Saturday. He was actually in Minnesota visiting family, so then they drove back. So he was not there Friday night when we got into town. I had the rehearsal, and then Zach and I ended up going to dinner. Went to a little brewery downtown.
Nice.
So it was really good. Wedding itself was very chill.
Good.
Honestly, not a whole lot to report back.
Just
It
a
was
good day.
which was so needed, especially
Yeah.
coming off of the nonstop wedding that I had the weekend before. It was
Right.
just like very chill. They didn't do a first look or anything like that. They got through their photos pretty quickly. So, and then as far as setup, it was a simple setup. So, yeah, it was really
We
good.
love those.
I know.
Yeah.
It was just like, it felt like a nice little like getaway, even though I was working that weekend. So,
Yeah. Nice little just like,
yeah.
Yeah. Especially in the middle of busy season.
Yeah.
You always need one of those.
Right, exactly. So, yeah. And then this coming weekend, do not have a wedding. It's Grace's birthday weekend. So that'll be fun.
Yay! I'm excited for this upcoming weekend. It's
Yeah.
gonna be good.
20.
know.
Wait, 27.
27?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I know.
27.
Late 20s.
Yeah.
Kind of ready. I didn't really, not like itself. I don't like the number 26. I'm just kind of like, meh.
Meh.
I also just really loved 25. And I think I was sad to leave 25. And I'm like, meh. But I kind of like 27. Like,
Yeah.
ooh.
I feel like I still like, when I think of how old I am, I feel like 27 is what comes to mind.
That would come.
Yeah.
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 Or like 27 or 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is where I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm 27. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Why not?
Quite.
I'm definitely not. Nope.
It's weird to me. I was looking back because Holt and I's anniversary was last week. So I was,
right.
I know. Yeah, it was
So
really fun. I'll talk about that. But
October, big month.
it's
Well, that
end
was
of September. But they're within. What day is it? Not Thursday. What month is it? Who knows?
This is my mood today.
They all kind of go together.
I'm like, Dom, October starts tomorrow, actually.
Oh God, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
October 1st.
Something in my
tomorrow.
brain just like
No, I
clicks
lied.
when
It's
October.
Thursday.
Oh, I don't
Just
know.
kidding.
Couldn't tell you. Don't know. Like I said, don't know what day it is. But it was fun because I was looking back through like old photos to like post. Didn't even end up posting a photo, but I just like went back through our like album that we have, and we met each other when he was 25, 26. Because I looked back at one of his old like birthdays, and I was like, dang, that's when he turned 27. And I was like, I was there when he turned 27. So now I'm like, wait, no, I'm gonna be 27. It's something about that to me is just kind of like fun to be like, wow, we've been a part of birthdays together. And I remember when you were this age. Now I'm that age.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be 27.
Yay.
It's going to be a good year.
It's gonna be fun.
It will
gonna be
a good
fun.
year.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
It's going to be a good weekend and
Gonna
good
be good
year.
weekend, good year. Yeah. It's gonna be good. I'm a little stressed though, because
Why?
We're moving. We're officially moving, and we're doing it the day after my birthday. But technically, we can't because there's a game that day. Lots of things, but the biggest thing that's stressing me out this week that I put off, but also now I'm like, shit, why did we do this at this time? I have to get a new driver's license. My license expires when I turn 27. I still have a Kansas
Mine-
ID. I've been a Missouri resident for 4
Yeah.
years, but I still have my Kansas ID, but it expires on my birthday. But here's the kicker. We're moving addresses. But by the time I get my license, it expires before I have all of the documents I need to show
Change your
my
address.
new address.
Oh.
And I'm flying in 3 weeks.
Oh.
So I'm very stressed.
That is very stressful.
It's just all of the things that you need to have, and I just feel like it's not clear. I know no one likes going to the DMV. I just don't like not all the things you need.
Yes, I. First of all, I have not changed my name on like hardly anything except for my ID, which was not a smart idea.
Not what you're supposed to
because
start with.
You're not supposed to start
No.
with that. So it has been insane for the past 4 years. So my goal is I need a new passport because it expires next year. My license expires in February when my birthday is. And then I also need to get my name changed. And then lately I just changed my cars, both like Mitch and I's cars, into my name. And I'm trying to renew those to get tags. And whatever information I'm putting online is not working. So then I was going to call the number and they're like, oh, this doesn't have like a call number. You have to go in person. And so now I'm like, I know I'm going to get there. It's going to be a long line because it's the end of the month. Well, I should go today because I'm going to have a late charge tomorrow. But oh well, we're past it.
It's fine.
We've accepted that now.
We've accepted it. So anyways, now I'm just making it about me. But all that to say is I feel the same boat of you as like going to the DMV and I'm like, I know it's going to be a long line and they're going to be like, well, you have the one document that I didn't bring.
Yep.
And then I'm going to have to get back in line. It's just a whole big thing. And I'm like, why can't I've tried everything to like type it in right.
Yep.
So Mitch is going to help me tonight. And then
I
figure out the
was
next
talking
step.
to my dad on the way here because like I had Abby look at it, Holt and I have looked at it, and I'm like, what am I missing? What do I need? And like all these documents, like I didn't have a birth certificate. I had to reapply to get my social security card, and that's when I like was registering my car, and I was like, I remember how stressful that is, but this one, there's another thing that's stressing me out. I'm scared to death. I'm not going to pass the eye test. That's also why I've put this off for so long. I'm going to have to wear my glasses, but I'm realizing, and I swear I can see. Like, I can see fine.
Wait, I'm confused. You have to pass an eye test? Mm-hmm. Oh, do you have to do, like, the road signs, too?
I don't think so. I fucking hope not.
Better
Or I
Google
will
those road
not
signs.
pass. But you have to do an eye test. I think it's usually if you're just renewing your license, because Abby was like, I renewed mine and I didn't have to. Well, she was just renewing. I'm going to a whole new state. And I
that
also
makes
don't have
sense.
the real ID. Like, I still don't have the star. So
I don't either.
not only need the real ID, but I also have to get a new state. So that's why I feel like I have all of these extra things that normally people don't really need because I'm getting a whole new state. But I'm also just terrified I'm not going to pass the eye test.
Your license plate is Missouri.
What?
I just think that's crazy. I guess it's different, but like you're able to get the Missouri license plate, but you don't have the Missouri license.
The registration was different than having like my license was still Kansas when I got my car, but my proof of residence was in Missouri at that
Gotcha.
time. So
Okay.
like my
That
license
makes sense.
didn't really matter, I guess. Yeah, no, you think about
It's
that.
kinda
It's
weird, right?
Yeah, I did it with my Kansas license, but I was a resident of Missouri. But I think it's just because I actually had like the proof of residence. That's interesting.
Well, did they already move out of that new apartment?
Yes. Well, and see, that's where it sucks because we're in my current apartment until the 17th, but technically we get the new apartment on the 7th. My license expires on the 6th. I have my lease to prove my proof of residence because also don't mail my license to my old address, mail it to my new one.
Yeah.
But the only proof I have of my new address is my lease, and they need like 3 other documents of proof of address. And I'm like, well, I haven't forwarded my address yet. Plus, it's not going to kick around until my next set of like bills that I need to show them on like credit card statements and stuff like that. So I'm like, am I just going to have to come back in like a month and do this again and just change literally the number on my unit? Yeah, I'm just annoyed. So I'm also like, damn, why did we
And they're
decide
not
to do this?
usually nice people. So then that's already stressful when you get up there and they're like,
And you're
I
like, what do
know.
you
You're like,
need?
I'm so sorry. Like, just tell
I'm
me,
literally
okay?
I'm like, I told Holt, I was like, I'm going to print off every single thing they ask for. So I just literally have it all, but I know I'm still going to get there and they're going to be
Right.
like, no. And I'm like,
know.
please, I need this.
Help me.
I just need my license because now I'm also like, well, shit, I'm traveling in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
probably not going to have a license, which I have a passport card. So at least I can travel. But then like when I'm in New York, it's like if I go to a bar and I have a paper ID, they're probably not going to take it. So I'm like, well, fuck.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
So you see my layers of stress.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I know.
I will say though, at least when I went to the DMV recently, I was able to just schedule a time ahead of time. I think
To,
with
like, stand
COVID,
in front of line.
yeah.
In line.
See,
I think with COVID, it's changed. At least where I went, I don't know if
did
it's like
that.
that in
I did that with
Missouri,
my registration. I waited too long, and they don't have an appointment until like October 13th.
okay, gotcha.
So I tried that because I was like, oh, at least I'll go. Because then I'm also like, fuck, I'm gonna sit in line for 2 hours,
Right,
and then
that's
they're
the
gonna be like,
worst
I don't
part.
have
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get out of here! It's my birthday. Be nice to me.
It's my birthday.
This is my fault. I know. I recognize that, but I'm trying. Anyway, that's
I wish I had
consuming
better
my
advice
mind. I really don't want to do this.
It's gonna be okay. It'll all work out.
You know, it's also the social interaction that I'm like,
Right.
please be nice to me or I'll cry.
Right.
how I
And that's
feel.
okay if you cry.
I see that. I never
Maybe
really,
that'll help.
Maybe that'll help.
I never relate more to that. I took a picture of the bumper sticker that's like, please don't honk at me or I'll cry. I'm like, I need one of those.
Yeah,
I
literally.
really need that.
People would honk so much at you. I'm sure there's so many people that would just
Yep.
I
just
had to honk
actually
at somebody
honk.
the
you
other
know what I
day.
mean? You did?
Yeah.
Was it necessary?
Weird. Yeah.
Necessary.
They were
Sounds like, why'd you do
swerving.
that?
They were swerving into my lane on the
Oh,
highway,
yeah.
and I was
That's a
like,
no-no.
"Excuse me,
That's a no-no.
hello, I'm right here."
I'm here.
So yeah,
I think
it was
I've honked
necessary, but I
at-
did feel a little dirty
Yeah,
doing
like,
it. I was like, "Pee."
Try
This is
to
for
do it
my
real-
life.
Yeah, right. There's one time where I accidentally slammed on it. I don't know what happened. I think I was maybe I was parked or something, and I like moved and it really pressed it. And I was like, oh my
I'm
goodness.
so sorry.
You're in a
Yeah.
drive-through.
Yeah.
Holt likes to. I'll be
Good then.
driving and Holt will just go, and I'm like, don't
That
do
is
that.
Mitch holds it down.
Stop.
Mitch holds it down. He's like, they need to learn. I'm like,
No.
Oh no!
I'm so stressed.
It's not. Nothing will be. No one will be doing anything. Holt will just go, "Meh," and I'm like,
To be
stop.
funny?
He
Bad
feels someone's
joke.
gonna hurt me.
No.
I hate when he does that. He doesn't do it as often, but he did it. He does it a couple times just to think he's funny, and I'm like, we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna get pissed at us.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
why are you honking? Stop.
Yeah.
I'm the driver.
Nowadays, you just never know. And I'm
I know.
like, that's why I'm terrified to honk. But at the same time, it's like, it's there for a reason. And like you said, you got to use it on that person
Yeah.
to where it's like, you need to pay attention, sir, ma'am.
Speaking of being terrified, Zach will like wrap and stuff in the car, and he'll like move his arms. And I'm always like, stop! They're gonna think that you have a gun. Somebody could pull it on you. And he's like, Sarah, it's just my hands. And I'm like, just be careful, okay? Just keep them lower. Like,
Don't cause too much tension to yourself. I love
Yes.
looking in like my rear view mirrors and people that are like jamming, and I'm like, get it, girl.
Yeah.
Get it.
I like
Vibe.
it. What are you listening to?
Yeah.
Tell me what you're listening
Yeah.
to.
It's so fun. I
Love
always
it.
want to be one of those people, like where I just like jam with my windows down, but I always get very nervous. I like start turning it down when I get to the stop sign. I'm like, all right, it's casual.
I do that
But I'm
sometimes.
like, why? I should
Right.
just jam out.
you should live your life, babe.
But
Do your thing.
It's so scary.
Sometimes I'm like
Yeah.
small
It's still
singing.
scary.
And I'm like, I wonder if they think I'm a good
I
singer.
know. You're right. Yeah.
Do they think I'm a good maybe I'm good in their head. I'm not. But they're looking at me and they're like, yeah, she knows how to sing.
Yeah, we wouldn't know because you refuse to sing.
Yeah. Dance moves.
One
on the
day.
other
Maybe
hand.
that'll be my Christmas present to you guys. I'll sing on the podcast.
A Christmas
Please.
song.
A Christmas song. You can't go wrong.
A jingle, if you will.
A jingle.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
Okay,
We'll
we'll
just let
remind
you.
you.
Yeah, we'll let you
every
surprise
week.
us. Yeah.
Just keep it. What's that song? What's the song you're gonna sing? Maybe one day.
Last Christmas.
I gave you my heart, and the very next day
You gave it away. Bum bum.
this year.
Oh, I'm really good at sound effects. I can do that instead. I can play a mean guitar with my mouth or the drums.
Special.
Ooh, that was good.
Thank you. Anyways.
Oh man.
So this episode we were going to talk about last week and totally scratched that. So we're kind of coming back to it. We want to go back to weddings a little bit more of like kind of the people pleasing aspect of weddings. And obviously you two are married. What are some things? First of all, tell us a little bit about your weddings. Where, and when did you guys get married?
You can go ahead.
Okay. Zach and I got married April 30th, 2022.
Woo! 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 I was there.
Yeah. And yeah, we got married at Hawthorne House in Parkville. We had our ceremony in the chapel. Cocktail hour was outside on the lawn, which is what I wanted. So I was really glad that the weather held up because it downpoured the whole day before. So that was
I
good.
don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then reception was in their main, I think it's called Emerson Room, the main space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were
That's about it. No.
when you guys were looking, and I'll get back to you too. When you were looking at your venue, like what was important to you guys?
For me, I really wanted something all in one location, but I didn't want to have a room flip because coming from the venue side, I knew it all went into that. And it's not what I wanted. I liked having a change of scenery from the ceremony to the cocktail hour to the reception. So that was really big for me. Everything on one location. I didn't want to be having to worry about transportation or anything like that. So that was the biggest thing. And I really wanted something that was just really big and open, lots of natural lighting for during the day. I really liked how Hawthorne House, just again, coming from the venue mindset, I love how they don't have any like big pillars blocking any viewpoint. So
Yeah.
every table in that space has a good vantage point of, you know, the head table
Yeah.
and all of that. So those are the biggest things for us.
That you were like looking for?
Yeah. And Hawthorne House was the first, actually second. We toured one other venue before that. And then Hawthorne House was the second. And we were like, okay, I don't think we're going to find anything that we like more than this. Let's just lock it in. And of course the venue is just like the biggest thing because it's A, very expensive. And
Yeah.
B, it's like that's
It's your date.
yeah, and that it's your date, it's setting everything, but also it's like when you think of your wedding day, you're thinking of that space and like where everybody was gathered. So it's an important decision. It's, you know, easy to find like be nitpicky about little things. Like there were little things that I maybe would have changed, but overall,
Which we will get into.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you that.
okay.
But
I'm
before-
jumping the gun.
Yeah, I'm getting there. No, I like that you're thinking about it.
Yes.
There was a question I was going to ask, but Oh, did you guys always know it was going to be in Kansas City? Or like, I know it was in Parkville, but like area wise.
Yeah.
You
we
always
didn't-
kind of planned on here?
Yeah. We never planned on having, destination. We always planned on having the public ceremony, not public ceremony. We talked about private ceremonies, but ceremony where everybody was invited. It really was never a question for us if we were going to be outside of Kansas City or not.
Yeah.
Because the people that were going to be there was the most important thing to us. So we wanted it to be as
like that.
easy as possible, with Parkville still being like a little bit of a drive for some people, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and most people were here in town. We had a few out of town guests come in, but they had a good experience with it too. It was close to the airport, which was nice. So yeah,
It was nice.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
It was such a beautiful day.
It was. It was so fun.
I love Hawthorne House too. So pretty.
That was my first time attending a wedding at Hawthorne House.
I think me too.
I don't think I had photographed a wedding there yet either. Because it was 2022. Yeah.
Same.
Yay.
It was really
Yeah,
fun.
I really loved the little bridge that to
Oh
go
my
from the
gosh,
chapel
yes.
over to the main space. That like really sold me because it reminded me. I always loved. We grew up going to Big Cedar out in Branson, and there's a chapel on the property that looked kind of similar to Hawthorne House Chapel.
Yeah.
And I always just like loved the chapel and just you know the outdoors and all of that aspect.
Yeah.
So when we found Hawthorne House, we're like, okay, well, this is not all the way out in Branson.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the closest thing to it. So
Yeah.
it's perfect.
It's beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, it's so fun that you both actually were in attendance at my
I
wedding.
know.
I know.
It's so special.
I kind of forget about that.
Yeah.
We were all there. Like even Addie was there
Yeah.
and Sid was there.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
makes me so happy to think about.
I know. Addie had her little Marsden.
Yeah.
Was
Oh my
just
gosh,
a
yeah.
newborn.
Steven had to bring him
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Oh my
So Marsden was even there.
Marsden was there.
Sweet boy.
I know.
That was such a fun day.
It really was.
Yeah.
Feels like forever ago.
It does. It'll be, there we go again. It'll be 3 years in April, which will be here before we know it. So
Yeah.
It will.
I know. We had a longer engagement. Originally I wanted a fall wedding.
Ooh, okay.
But we got engaged December 2020. And I was like, okay, well, we're not going to get married in the fall of 2021 at this point.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to wait all the way till fall of 2022.
Like 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, essentially. So that's where we landed on the spring. So we were like, okay, well, it's still beautiful out. Different than the fall, but not going to be sweltering in the heat of summer.
Right.
And I didn't want to do a May wedding because my birthday's in May and I wanted it to be at least slightly further apart.
Yeah.
So we landed on the very last day of April. So May 1st is the day after, which is also Zach's grandparents' anniversary is May 1st.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I know. So
Not kind of. That is cool.
it's really cool.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. No, it is cool.
So we were like, well, we don't want to take their date. Like that's
Yeah.
there. And also with the way that the calendar fell, we knew we wanted a Saturday wedding.
Right.
So
Yeah.
April 30th it was.
Cool.
Yay.
Yeah.
We're going to come back. I have another question.
Okay.
But first, I want to go back
Pause.
to Dom. Same thing I asked her. When, where, and
Why?
why.
Where
All right, and go.
And how?
And how. Throw in a little what, you know?
Yeah. We got married October 9th of 2020. So COVID wedding. It'll be 4 years next week. So
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Next
Holy
week?
cow.
Next Wednesday.
Remind me what? Okay, so what day
Yeah.
is that?
October 9th.
9th, thank you.
Yes.
Did you just say that? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. I'm like, hang on. You
Like,
definitely
what day?
just
She just said
that.
October 9th about 10 seconds ago.
I don't know what I was thinking about.
That's okay. That's okay. I might have said it fast. I
No,
kind of
it's
just went into
definitely
it.
me.
So.
No, it's absolutely me. That is me. Okay, I'm engaged. Locked in.
I love it. But yes, October 9th, 4 years next week. We got married at a venue called Simple Blessings, and it's actually in Knob Noster, so kind of about an hour and a half away from here.
I don't know why that name
Knob
just
Noster.
cracked
Knob
me up.
Noster.
Wait, where?
Sounds like a Halloween name.
Knob Noster, Missouri?
Nom Noster Nerdy.
Missouri. Yeah, it's like I think it's on the way to Warrensburg. Maybe past it.
Okay.
Past it, yeah.
Oh yeah. I've
Yeah.
driven by that
Yeah.
sign on the
Yeah.
way to the lake.
Oh, I
We
think
drive by Knob Noster.
I think now that I think about it, I'm like, no, I've definitely seen that sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was on some acreage and just a little barn. We actually had a friend that got married there, I want to say like 2 years before I did. And it was a pretty cheap venue. So we were like, let's book it. We liked it and it was very casual. So yeah, it was beautiful. We had like the ceremony was outside. In front of the arbor, and then the reception was inside, but they also had this like outside patio with string lights and stuff. So then we were able to just kind of like bring the dances and the dancing and some toasts out there. So it was really nice.
Did COVID limit you?
They actually didn't. I think it was maybe some of the people that we invited, it limited them just because it was a big, a lot of people. But we only had about 150 guests at ours. And since it was on land, kind of in the middle of nowhere, I feel like the venue manager was just like, sure, have whoever you want. So we got super lucky there.
Well, I feel like even because I was working our previous job at that time because I was there when it all happened. And I remember during the fall, that was kind of, how we would go through periods of like, absolutely not 20 people. Oh, okay, everything's fine. You can have 150. Oh, okay, no. Like, I felt like it kind of went up and down. And I feel like there was like a fall surge because it was the fall wedding season that it was kind of like, just wear a mask and everything's okay. Like, I feel like that kind of hit a point, which was around October.
Yeah, and I want to say I remember it was really bad, I think in August, where it was like, oh no, like kind of getting
really
a little
strict.
nervous about it. But then I think it kind of cleared up and then maybe got a little more strict after our wedding.
Because like holidays
Yes.
and flu season.
Yes, exactly. So yeah,
I'm glad it
we
didn't-
got lucky
Yeah.
and yeah, it was a beautiful day.
Did you also know you guys want to get married here?
Yes, we did. I think we always just knew like family was most important to us and friends and stuff. So we wanted everyone to be able to attend. So we didn't really give much thought into like a destination wedding. And I think also like we just didn't have a lot of money at that time because I had just graduated December of 2019 and then we got married October 2020. So with COVID, I wasn't working really.
Yeah.
So, right when I graduated, Mitch was living in California. So I went and lived with him. And then when we heard about COVID, because that's like right when it started, we came back at the end of February, beginning of March. And then I couldn't get a job. I didn't get a job until August, so I didn't really have like a lot of money saved up. Mitch had just graduated right before me, only like 5 months before, and had his wedding.
His first wedding.
His first wedding, then our wedding.
First wedding, and then ours. No, he got his first job.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he got his first job, and yeah, so it was just we knew kind of in town, simple.
Yeah.
And then we just really were ready to be married because we had dated.
Yeah.
For 6 years. And so we were like, okay, it's time. Like that's the next step after college is getting married. So we just kind of did we have a shorter engagement? I think it was only like 8 months, 9 months.
pretty
So
nice.
not too bad. I feel like pretty common.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm curious, your planning process with A, not having a lot of money,
Yeah.
and B, COVID.
Yeah.
How did you handle that stress?
Honestly, I know I'm trying to think back.
Like,
It's
what were your biggest
Said
stressors?
I blocked it out of
Yeah.
my memory.
just got through it. No, yeah, I think I really don't think it was like super stressful just because I knew like we were gonna have like a cheaper wedding. I don't really like that word,
Yeah.
but just like affordable wedding, yes. And I knew that we were gonna be paying for most of it. So and not having it's so funny because I always tell Mitch nowadays, like if we were to redo our wedding, say we were getting married like this year or next year, it would be completely different. It'd probably be in the city or a destination wedding. And maybe that's the videography standpoint of me too, of like, I'm just not a big fan of barns in general. Like if they're like brown barns, just like with the lighting, our pictures turned out amazing, but I think just, things have changed a little bit for me.
Different things
yes,
now.
I know differently.
More.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would have had a videographer. I know I was kind of on the edge of that, and it's always sad thinking like, oh, we didn't have one. So obviously everyone could say like, oh, trends come and go. You learn new things. You learn what you could have done better and things like that. I would have had a planner. I definitely would have had a day of coordinator 100%, because the one, well, I guess we can get into regrets here in a little bit.
I was gonna say, but hold on a second.
But yes, I think the planning part of it was not too bad, because like the venue manager was just fine with whatever. She was very like, we were able to bring in our own alcohol. I know that's not very common at a lot of venues, so we just brought beer and wine, and that's all we had. And we were just pretty mindful on like what our spending would go towards. So yeah, it was not a bad planning experience at all. I just think now that I know and I'm in the industry, I just would have done things a little differently. If that answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
But yeah, with COVID, it was kind of up and down, I think, with the seasons of like, oh, like, is our wedding going to get canceled?
Right.
Or is anyone going to want to feel comfortable enough to come to our wedding? Like things like that. But I think, at that point, it couldn't have been better. It was the most perfect day in October too. And so yeah.
You kind of touched on things that, like, we asked you kind of like, what were your biggest stressors? What were yours? Or did you have any, or what?
Of course, if you look back, have to think about it.
If you look back, like, what are some of the things that you're like, that was harder than it needed to be, or really stressful to get through?
I have one thing that comes to mind, and it doesn't even have to do with the wedding. It was more so just like myself and my own mental health, and it had to do around body image. And because for me personally, my body was really changing a lot during those years of our engagement even. So I got my dress like a year in advance basically. And then you have that pressure to fit into the dress when you pick it up. So that was just always in the back of my mind. Like, am I going to fit in the dress? Am I going to be a beautiful bride? Do I need a shed before the wedding? You're shedding before the wedding, and all that stuff that's kind of like taboo and in your face.
Yeah.
Really, that was probably the biggest stressor for me for the entire planning process.
Did you recognize that was a stressor for you?
Yeah.
Were you like constantly fighting it? Or
Yeah.
was it one thing like you look back on and you were like, wow?
No, it was like pretty much like like when you're laying in bed and like you're going through the mental checklist of things, it was like that was a thing that was kind of at the forefront of it. And I think because too, like growing up, I was always like stick skinny, like always. And I was constantly being told like, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful. And I think I kind of associated that with my weight, I guess. And when I got older, my body started changing a little bit, started to become a little bit more thick with 2 C's.
2, maybe 3 C's.
Yeah. I kind of pictured like that really stick skinny Sarah on her wedding day growing up. And then when that wasn't my reality, I was just like, it was at the forefront of my mind. It was like, is everybody still going to think I'm the most beautiful bride? Which is so messed up and sad. But I think that was probably the most stressful thing of all of it.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to stress about it when you do have to fit into this $4,000 dress that you picked out a year ago for some people. And so it's hard not to stress about it to an extent, but also it's like, just why do we look at that wedding day as something that's so much different than every other day?
Right. Like, why is it's always kind of been a thing where, like you said, like shredding for the wedding, or the girls that are like, I need to lose, like it was kind of like in the culture. Like you look back at like wedding inspired movies that they're like, I need my workout and I need this. And I'm like, why are we associating beauty with being thin?
Yeah. Is what it is.
Yeah. And I don't.
Well, it's society.
I know.
It was shoved down our throats since we were children.
Yeah.
And it's like, even just like generations above us, I remember just like they'll look back at their photos and be like, the first thing that they see at their wedding photos is, oh, I was so skinny there.
Yeah.
I don't look anything like that anymore. And it's like, no, our bodies are constantly changing. You're still absolutely beautiful, and nobody else is looking at your photos thinking, oh, she used to be so skinny.
Right.
And actually, something that really helped me, it was Becca Tilley with Scrubbing and Podcast. She was also a contestant on The Bachelor years and years ago, and I absolutely love her. But she posted something that really helped me, and it actually was around that same time. And it says, I had a moment the other day that really changed my perspective on how I view my physical appearance. I was thinking no one has ever impacted me by being beautiful or having a perfect body. It might get my initial attention or even be inspiring, but it's never been the reason I remembered them. I'm impacted by people for their kindness, their loyalty, their patience, their generosity, their vulnerability, etc. I probably didn't have to read etc. I've never said she changed my life because she was so pretty and skinny. We spend so much time worrying about the thing that means the least to people.
Damn.
And that
So
hit
good.
hard.
Yeah,
So good.
That is really
Yes.
good.
So-
Something that I think I hear almost every wedding day, and like I hear it a lot as a photographer, and I'm like, how can I handle this and how can I change how you're saying this? Because like obviously this is not the right time to do that, but it's mostly the moms that are like, can you take 10 pounds off of me? Can you Photoshop this?
Yeah.
And I've tried so hard to come up with a good response because I'm also like, you're saying this in front of your daughter
Yeah.
on her wedding day.
Yeah.
How do you think she's feeling?
Yeah.
But also, and then, I mean, that is kind of in their, like how they were raised and in society when
Again,
they
it
were
goes
growing
back
up.
to we're all just doing the best we can. That was
Yes.
something that was shoved down their throats.
Yes.
And it's about breaking that cycle
Yes.
and not my potential daughter, I'm going to manifest it.
Yes.
Future daughter, I don't want her to be
Yeah.
thinking those things about herself.
Right.
I don't want her associating beauty with her physical appearance. It's about what's on the inside. So
Yeah. Well, and not to change the subject, but really fast, because this
Yeah.
is something I've always kind of talked about a little bit, but even like I've grown up always thin.
Yeah.
I've always been thin. I've always been pretty petite and small. I'm tall-ish, but like I'm pretty petite.
yeah.
In the amount of people that also think it's okay to talk about how skinny I am.
Right.
Of,
It goes both
"Eat this,
ways.
you're rail thin, all
Yeah.
of this. And I'm like, do you realize that hurts a lot? Like
Yeah.
people are like, why are you complaining? You're skinny. I'm like,
Yeah.
what you're saying is not okay. The
Right.
thing that
Yeah.
sucks, like, I wish I could have some
Yeah.
more muscle. I wish I
Exactly.
could do this. I would like to be a little bit like, I would like to fit in some certain clothes.
Yeah.
I can't because I don't have hips and I don't have boobs. I mean, I
Right.
do. They're not, I don't fit
They're
into
just
some
little.
things. They're
Yeah.
just little. But like, I don't, it's always kind of been a thing where like you don't talk about someone who is seen as like overweight.
Yeah.
Right.
You also don't talk about someone who's seen as skinny like that too, but they see it as like, you shouldn't complain. You're skinny. You're blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
Right.
I'm still trying to be healthy. Like I am healthy. I'm not harming my physical self in that
Yeah.
way. Like I'm trying. I just can't be this way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
Like,
goes
both
both
ways are
ways.
harmful.
Exactly. And I think it's more so people feel like it's okay to say that to you, probably because being thin is like the standard and that's
Yeah.
what's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't understand how somebody like you could feel that way.
They
But
just-
it's like, it doesn't matter.
They look at me like I'm complaining. I'm
Yeah.
like, I wish there's things about my body that are different too. I think everybody does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, why is it? I don't know. I just wanted to say that.
No, that's
always
absolutely
bugs me.
related.
I still
And
hear that all the time. People hug me and they're like, "You're so thin."
I'm like, thank you.
okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if somebody were to hug you and be like, "You're so big"?
That's what
You've
I'm
gotten
saying.
Bigger.
That's
Like,
what I'm
You don't comment on
saying.
that,
Yeah.
but why are
No.
you commenting about how thin I am?
And maybe
Yeah.
it would be different if you know someone has been maybe trying to be healthier and maybe they are wanting to lose weight just to physically feel better, feel healthy, not just because they feel like I need to fit into a dress.
Yeah.
Right.
Like then it's like, hey,
Exactly.
you look great. You
Yeah.
look great. Like
you look like you are healthy
And
and you're
happy.
happy. It's
Yeah.
not about the appearance. It's about like what you're showing through your eyes,
Yeah.
through your smile, like your overall demeanor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is what you should be commenting on.
right.
But yeah,
It's just
Yeah.
wild how that is such a part of
for
wedding days
women,
still. Yeah. Well, yeah.
nobody says
Yeah.
anything about the groom
Men, No. yeah.
and their appearance. They get to get their suit 3 months out.
Right.
It's like you're probably still going to fit in it.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not. It's just the pressure isn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me whenever I went to go dress shopping with just dress shopping for the wedding. And I remember I found my dress, and I think I ended up getting a size smaller than what I was. And I remember looking at my mom and being like, Mom, like, I will do whatever it takes to fit in this dress. Like, I will diet, I will work out. I still have plenty of time. I think I had like 6 months or something like that. And it's just like sad that that's what I said. Like, I needed to get a smaller size. And Mom, like, looking at her like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And what's funny is you actually might be able to find it. I don't think I ever deactivated that account, but I created like an Instagram account called Fit with Dom. So if you guys want to look it up, I haven't looked it up forever, but it was, I mean, and I've always been into fitness. Like, we've had like tons of workout equipment in our basement at my parents' house. They're the ones that showed me how to lift weights. Like, that has always been a part of my journey. And then dating Mitch, like, he went into bodybuilding, like, he's done CrossFit, he's done all the things. He's always been that guy that just doesn't eat junk food, doesn't really enjoy it. He doesn't drink. I've still been with him for almost 11 years, and he's never had soda. Like, he's just naturally that 1% that just doesn't crave it, but also he's very dedicated as well. But hanging out with him and everything, I just wanted to like lift weights more. So it's always been around me. But I remember I created Fit with Dom, and it was just like keeping myself accountable of the workouts. But what was actually crazy about it is when I would post those workouts, like, I wasn't actually doing the workout to its full potential, as if I wasn't recording myself, because I'm just trying to like, okay, I got to get the right angle. I'm doing it for like
it's all for show. It's not for,
and so it wasn't like,
actually
do I need to go work out after, because that didn't really get me a good workout. And so it almost took more time out of the day. But those were two things that I was saying that to my mom, and then also just trying to be committed. And I did end up like losing weight and like fitting in my dress and everything. But looking back, it's like, that's sad that was my mindset. And honestly, I think because I was so drained from working out, that full, I don't know, whatever, ever since I got engaged to when I got married, that next year I really let myself go. Like, I could tell that I didn't want to work out because I was trying so hard to work out every day or every other day, whatever, through that process, that I literally drained myself to the next year. That was like the 1 year I didn't ever like work out. And I could tell I was trying to focus on like eating healthy, but obviously like I could tell like I got like bigger, and I just had probably less energy, but it was because I was so drained from staying super committed the year before.
Yeah.
So
it's all about finding that balance.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, like people with the whole shedding for the wedding, it's like, no, you should be doing what you're doing every other day of your life. Like, this shouldn't be just for your
lifestyle.
wedding. It's a lifestyle. And if that's something that you haven't been doing up until then, why would you start doing it and go from one extreme to the other?
Yeah.
Like, work out because it makes you feel good and you want to work out, not because you're doing it for that reason. That you have to be this super fit, tiny bride.
exactly.
Because then you look back, like, will you look back in 20 years when you show this to your kids and be like,
I was so skinny there. This doesn't even look like me.
Right. Like, I didn't even feel like me. That doesn't even, like, I can't relate to that anymore. When Abby was getting married.
You're associating those images and all of that with that time in your life where it's like, if you aren't in a good mindset, a healthy mindset, then you're not looking at it thinking about the love and all of that you felt on the day. You're just looking at it tearing yourself apart.
Right. That's when Abby was getting married. She was like, I'm not doing this because I think I have to be. She's like, I'm doing it because like I just want to feel confident and like I want to feel healthy. And that's why she's like, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. But she's like, but I'm not gonna like kill myself over it, because like she's like, I just want to feel confident, and I know there's some things I could change. And like I feel like when you do get married, all of that is heightened because you're like, everyone's gonna be looking at me. This is about me. So like I'm sure in your brain you're kind of like, how can I literally look my best? But also I think it's just more so about physically feeling your best, and therefore when you feel your best, you're going to look your best.
Yep.
But I think we immediately get into the looking first.
I mean, we do it nowadays too. Like, I know I've been going to Power Life because, like I said, my workouts at home just weren't cutting it for me. And it also was like trying to help my, just like the mental state of things, and trying to get exposure therapy and going to workout classes. And also, you know, I feel like I do better when someone is pushing me, like an instructor, versus at home. It's so funny. I'll literally like go to Power Life, and then I come back home and I'm like, well, I got 3 sets in. I feel good. And I'm like, no, at Power Life, they're pushing me. So it was like, I think, I'll just turn that around. I was just saying, like, when I started going to Power Life a few months ago, I'm like, okay, am I like getting skinnier? Like, I still do it to this day of like, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm also like reminding myself, and one of my friends is going with me, and I'm like, it's about what's in the inside. Like, are we doing this for our health to live longer? Are we doing this to be able to hold up our kids? Are we doing this to be able to do, like, you
For
know,
your
for
quality of
yourself?
life.
And it is not always what happens to be on the like
Physical
outside.
appearance.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's a deep topic for sure.
Yeah. We can do another whole episode on it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sure we will.
But
Literally.
that just kind of skims the surface.
Yeah.
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 Thanks for sharing that about your guys's
Yeah.
kind of how you were
course,
feeling about that.
Definitely.
I think that a lot of people feel that way.
Another stressor I kind of wanted to bring up, not related to COVID, was so Mitch and I both come from divorced families, and family, friends, whoever's listening of mine, like, obviously this just comes from my heart, and I don't want it to mean anything about it. Like, my intention is that it's just what Mitch and I went through as an experience.
It's just your
But
truth.
yeah, it's just our truth, and what we went through. But obviously we love our family and friends, and we understand that things happen, like divorces happen. That's a part of life, and totally, yeah. Anyways, I just feel like there was a little bit of pressure for Mitch and I of like, who will be in our bridal party? Is it going to be family or friends? And so I think that was a little hard. I think definitely I would do things a little differently. And I think honestly, just having that conversation with our family of like, hey, we know that it's our day and all of you guys are going to be supportive, and you know Mitch and I, like, you know our hearts and where we're coming from. But I think it's also good to just address those conversations, because they might be feeling in some type of way of like, am I invited to this? Are we going to have pictures together? Where should we sit at the ceremony? Am I walking down the aisle? I just think I personally could have done a better job, and Mitch as well, of like maybe some reasoning behind certain things, or just letting them know that we love them, and, you know, we're just trying to do our best too. But I think we did feel this pressure of like maybe pleasing certain people in our family to not include someone, or to include someone. And so I think that was the hardest thing for us, is both of us just being loyalists and wanting to have a relationship with everyone in our family. But yeah, I think that was probably the hardest part. But like I said, we love our families, and we know everyone's just trying their best, and everyone can be validated in their truth as well. But that is something we struggled with. So I just think that was a little bit of a stressful thing for me. But at the end of the day, it ended up being amazing, and hopefully everyone felt included and stuff. And like I said, I probably would do a few things different to this day, but at the time, like, we were just trying our best back then too.
I think the most thing I hear from people, and one that I'm genuinely think about when I think of my wedding day one day, is family dynamics. I think there's a lot about family that go into can make a wedding day a little bit more stressful sometimes, because, and it's kind of like double-sided of like, we want those people to enjoy the day too. Like, we want them to feel important and celebrated. But sometimes, and this is my opinion, sometimes I think there's family entitlement, that they think, well, this is how my wedding was, or this is how it used to be, so you have to do it too. And that's where I think there's a huge divide sometimes with family of like, no, we don't have to get this family photo. And no, I don't have to do this tradition, that I don't have to throw a bouquet. I don't have to do this. You maybe wanted to do that, but it's hard to please everyone, because you want to please them. You want them to be happy. They're family.
Right.
But it's when it's like maybe not reciprocated or understood, like the awareness sometimes is lacking. Like, personally for me, and I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but like especially relationships that I've noticed between mom and daughter on wedding days, this is what I've always kind of thought and seen of moms sometimes, and I'm not a mom, haven't gone through this. This is my generalization. I feel like some moms that got married 20, 30 years ago, their weddings were different. Their mom planned their wedding. Their mom was their wedding planner. Their aunt was their wedding planner. It wasn't how weddings are nowadays. So in my opinion, some moms back then were like, this is my day too, because I'm planning it. It's a part of me and my life, and this is my daughter. And so then I think moms nowadays are really struggling with like, well, that was, my mom got to do that. And I'm going to say something kind of maybe rude, but like, she's like, she thought this was her wedding day. So now this one's mine. Like, you owe that to me because I didn't get my own wedding. And again, I'm not trying to say that's how everyone is, but like from what I've noticed, mom's saying like, this is my wedding too. And it's like, whoa, okay. But I can't blame you, because I do think generationally, that's what your mom kind of did to you, because that's how it was. Moms planned the wedding. Moms had a huge part in it. So they kind of feel like, okay, well then this is my turn, where it's like, well, mom, weddings are different. Like, and I'm not trying to disrespect you in any way. Like, I'm not trying to make you not be a part of it, but things are different. That's not how it needs to be or how it should be necessarily.
I was just going to say real fast, I think too, it can kind of come down to is if they're paying for the wedding.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah. So
that's
you take it away. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say that's a
topic.
huge factor in it. It's like, so not everyone, but a lot of weddings, the parents of the bride are primarily paying for the majority of it. So that's where it's difficult, because it's like, well, I'm paying for it, so this is what it's going to be. But I think it's just with anything in life, it's just about having clear communication, actually expressing how you're feeling, and just having a conversation about it all, and then just coming to a compromise.
Yeah.
That's what you do in any healthy relationship. So I think it's just, when it gets to a point where it's that awkward dynamic, maybe on a wedding day with mother-daughter, because they didn't talk about it, and bride's holding on to this resentment to mom, and mom making the day about her. So it's just, again, we say this with communication saves relations. We say that all the time, and that's really what it all comes down to, in my belief.
Yeah.
And I think it's obviously definitely harder than how we're saying it, like, because there is that confrontation piece, and there is my mom's my best friend. I would never, mean to hurt her feelings. So I think it can be,
Easier said than
easier.
done.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think I said harder said than done. You guys know what I mean.
We understand. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's definitely hard. We feel anyone out there that's going through that for sure, but.
Right, because every mother-daughter relationship is different too.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is just coming from my own perspective, because my parents did pay for the majority of our wedding, and my mom had a ton of a hand in the wedding planning, which I was so grateful for.
Right.
Because I honestly didn't have the capacity to make some of the decisions and reach out to vendors. We had a day of coordinator, but we didn't have a wedding planner.
Yeah.
So it was just my mom and I, and I'm so grateful for all that she did do. And I'm just thankful that we do have that relationship where I felt like on certain things, I'd be like, Mom, I know you really like this. One thing that comes to mind is a pop of color. I think of my mom going, you want a pop of color in your flowers, right? Yeah. And I'm like, no, because originally I did it. And eventually I ended up changing my mind on that, but it was because I changed my mind on that.
Yeah.
But that, like, I remember in that first floral meeting, I was like, I want all white and blush, very light blush pink. Because at that point in time, that was more of like the trendy thing to do.
Yeah.
Wasn't necessarily what I liked. It was just, this is what people are doing. So this is what I want to do. And it's just so funny. I just remember my mom, you don't want to pop a color?
Yeah.
So pop of color really stuck with me, Mom. So and then once I was, of course, in the industry, I was in the industry at that point, but not when we were first booking those first vendors. But seeing the all white and blush every wedding, I eventually got there on my own to be like, you know what? I don't want to do that. That's what everybody's doing. I want to do something that's more unique and more me. So we compromised on the pop of color. And, there were certain colors where I was like, nope, absolutely don't want that one. But we ended up both being happy on the day when it came down to it. But that's just one small example of disagreeing on an element of the day.
And I think like it's something to be said, because I think it also like has to do with your relationship with your mom or whoever's maybe helping you, or like that figure that you have in your life. Because like for me, it was me and my sister. Yeah. Like I was helping her, and I know we disagreed on a lot of things. And there were several times in the process that I'm like, wait, this is not, why am I putting that on her? That's not fair. Like I know her and I want to help her, but I need to do it in a healthy way where I'm not telling her this is what you have to do. And that's where sometimes I see relationships where, and this is a whole different thing, where like, as long as it's coming from a good place from the mom or that person, rather than like
This
feeling
is what
like
you're
they're
doing.
owed this
Yes.
and like, I am paying for that, so like I'm gonna hold it over you.
Yeah.
And that's where I think I wish I had the answers for those kinds.
Yeah.
Do not. But like in those times when you're working with that person directly, there were so many times with my sister that I was like, I feel like I'm being a jerk and I'm sorry. Like, this is not my wedding, and like I recognize if this is what you want, this is what you want, and I need to get over my opinion and help make that happen for you.
I feel like that is so relatable right now because with my brother's wedding and my future sister-in-law, she's coming to me for like a lot of advice or like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And there's many times where I always tell Maddie, I'm like, you and I are complete opposites. And so I will like send her things and I know she just takes it with a grain of salt, but I'm like, wait, now actually my question should be, what do you want? It's not, oh, I think I like this one the best. Like I'm going to be honest with her and I think she'll be honest with me back. And at the end of the day, I want her to do exactly what she wants. But I feel like there's been times where I've overstepped and I'm like, wait a second. Like just because I'm in the industry and feel like maybe I have the expertise and also excited to help you. But I've had to take a step back and be like, wait, I want you to decide. I actually don't want to tell my opinion anymore. And I think I'm going to try and do that the rest of the process unless she literally can't decide. And I'm like, okay, I'll pick it. But
I'll
at the end of the
jump
day,
in.
I need to like take a step back because I'm like, wow, like maybe I'm being a little too much. And I know she's a people pleaser. So she's like, well, you like this and my mom likes this. And Nico, my brother, kind of likes this and I like this. I'm like, do what you want. Talk with Nico. Like that is what matters the most. And then, you can get some outside perspectives. But sometimes it's nice to just not ask other people because then you don't have to feel that like pleasing side too if you're not going to be okay with their answer.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my biggest piece of advice for anybody who does have that dynamic with their mom is to hire a wedding planner. And I'm not just saying that because I am a wedding planner, but genuinely it's like, I feel like, and with some cases, I am that middleman. And I can, bride will tell me something that she maybe doesn't feel comfortable telling mom. So that way, when we're in those meetings and we're making those decisions, I can kind of gear that conversation more towards what I know the bride wants. And it's not coming directly from her. So it kind of softens the blow a little bit.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Same with if mom's telling me something, I can be like, okay, your mom really wants this. Like just offline. Just not with both of them sitting right there and saying it to each other. Be like, this is what your mom thought. Tell me your thoughts because I want to get your thoughts. This is your wedding day.
Yes.
So you tell me what you like about this, what you don't like about it, and then we can come to a middle ground.
It's the unbiased third party that you need in the conversations to be like, I want this because I want this. And then maybe mom or someone is coming back saying, well, I want this because I want this. You need that person in the middle, whoever that is, but especially the wedding planner, to be, okay, listen, you're both coming from an emotional perspective. I'm going to throw the logical in there and let's try and make them come together.
Exactly.
That's why I respect what you do so freaking much.
Right.
Yeah, it's managing a lot. It's a lot more than just managing contracts and emails and all that. It's managing emotions. It's managing
that's the bottom part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like that's important, but like that's way down there on the level of responsibilities.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's still huge.
And that's things that I think a lot of people, when they think of, a wedding planner, they don't think about that at all. They're thinking about, this person's going to keep me organized.
Yep.
They're going to help me find the right vendors for me. But it's like, we do so much more than that.
Yeah.
You're a part of some very deep and personal conversations that you're sharing with maybe someone who was a stranger and becomes a really good friend. Like, you get to know those people pretty well.
Yeah.
Which is great. But it also puts a lot on your shoulders.
Yeah. But again, you have to be the right person for the job. So I'm like, I don't necessarily feel that. Of course, there's certain cases where I feel it.
Yeah.
Or I just feel overwhelmed and I'm like, I don't have the capacity to take on your emotions today. I'm so sorry. But majority of the time, though, like I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't feel like it was something I could manage and something that I didn't love. And, being a part of making those decisions and helping people come to a middle ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all that. It's also fulfilling for me. So
yeah. You're a good therapist.
Yes.
That's what I told you. If I wasn't doing this, I'd do like counseling or therapy or something like that. So
Yeah. And kind of to piggyback off that with having like a day of coordinator or planner throughout your planning process, that is not what I had, which I know we kind of touched on, but so the venue that Mitch and I got married at was about an hour and a half away from our home. and the boys decided to go hang out at the venue, set some
I'm
things
so
up.
scared for what you're going to tell me.
Things up.
I'm like, oh gosh, is it going to be a disaster? No.
It wasn't too bad. It was just I would have done things differently
Right.
because we decided to get ready at my house. So we, with hair and makeup, I think we were there for we got up, I don't know, 6 a.m. It was pretty early, and we didn't leave until about 1, and we were just sitting there doing nothing when we could have gotten ready at the venue, because then when we got to the venue, it was go time. It was set the tables. It was figure out where the cakes are going, and we literally just sat for, I don't know, 6-7 hours just at home doing nothing. And so we had the boys doing some of the things, and, they were trying their best, and
Bless them.
right, exactly. But by the time we got there, my mom and I, at the end of the day, her and I were the ones that knew how things were going to go, and we're going to maybe pass some jobs off to some of the bridesmaids and Mitch's mom and sister and stuff like that. But it was also very I should have just showed up at the venue and then got ready, took a minute, and instead it was rushing around. And so there was just certain things that I'm like, what? We didn't need to do that. And my mom and I were so funny. I don't think we're the best decorators. We just go above, not above and beyond.
You do too much.
We add too much where it's what happened here? And I can show you guys a picture about my cake that I did. It was a beautiful, simple white cake. And I was like, maybe I should add these extra flowers on there. I don't know what it ended up turning out like, but it was not good.
You're like, sometimes less is more.
Yes, exactly. And so between me and my mom, she's like, let's add this and let's do baby's breath around here. And we have this extra sign. Let's put it up. And so between both of us, I was like, there's a lot going on. I mean, it ended up being beautiful, but it was just kind of funny with some of the pictures I look back where I was like, probably didn't need that. So,
but it's hard when you're in that state of mind. And that's where kind of going back to having someone just be like, I need you to kind of be my logical brain, because a lot of my emotions are going to be emotionally based. A lot of my emotions, a lot of my decisions.
Imagine that.
yeah.
Your emotions are emotionally based.
Your decisions are very emotionally based. You need someone to come in with the logical sometimes to be like, hold on,
Yeah.
take a second,
Yeah.
think about it, let's revisit.
Exactly.
Because it is hard to recognize that you're making an emotional and not a logical, because it feels logical.
Yeah.
And then you look back and you're like, nope,
What was I thinking?
that was more emotional.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'll put up some pictures so you guys can see what was going through my brain.
When
Because
you
we're
told
not
us
sure.
that the first time, that was so funny.
I know, and they're both like, it doesn't look that bad. I'm like, guys,
You're like,
you
that's
can
not
be
what I want
honest
to hear
with
about my
me.
wedding
We
cake. It
know
doesn't look that bad.
No, I want you to be honest with me and say, yeah, what were you doing? But at the end of the day, it is what it is. That's the decision I made. And
again, that's such a small thing when it comes to
Right,
your wedding day.
right.
You're not looking back. Well, we are right now because we're revisiting
Yes.
it for this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
But you're not thinking about that cake when you're thinking
Right.
about your wedding day.
Right.
You're thinking about Mitch, and you're thinking
Exactly.
about your union, and you're
Yeah.
thinking about all of the friends and family that were there to support you. So
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's funny to kind of look back on that,
It
because you can
is.
joke about it. And
Yes.
you're like, that's funny. That's
Yes.
hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as stressors go, Sarah, did you have what are some things that you felt went really well or you were really happy about with your wedding day with Zach?
Ooh.
Unless you have more stressors.
No, I actually did. I honestly did have a stressor I was going to bring up.
Share a stressor.
Let's just talk about stressors a little bit
get those out
longer.
of the way.
No, going back to just family dynamic.
Yeah.
For us, it was more so the religious piece. So I grew up Catholic.
Yeah.
And Zach didn't grow up religious. So finding a middle ground that would please both sides of the family, that was something that was a little bit challenging for us.
Yeah.
It ended up working out. It ended up being beautiful. And we had a beautiful ceremony talking about, the meeting of, I don't even remember.
Your ceremony was beautiful.
It was really
It was
beautiful.
really
yeah,
good.
the script itself was great.
Everything.
And we had a little mix of, we had some of the prayer in there. We had beautiful readings and
You had the unity candles.
unity
and,
candle.
yeah.
Exactly. We had both of our moms go up and light the unity candle to start.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful without, being a full church service.
Yeah. was a
We
good
got married.
compromise.
We got married in a chapel.
Yeah.
So there was that. But this is funny. I mean, I'm going to call out one person in particular. Grandma, I love you so, so much. But I will remember this one thing that you did say. She asked if we were going to get married in front of a cross. And I told her no. I said, we have beautiful flower arbor. And she said, well, how will your marriage be blessed?
Oh.
And I was like, well, to me, Grandma, the cross is just a symbol.
Yep.
That's how I look at it. My marriage is blessed because God is watching over us.
Yep. He is
Even
present.
if you don't want to say God, the universe, whatever you believe in.
Yes.
The higher power. I'm like, we're blessed because we have a healthy, loving relationship and we communicate well. And that is how our marriage is going to be blessed. Not because there's a cross right behind us.
Yeah.
So
that's where I think like the generational differences come into play. Like it's something that like I'm kind of thinking of like when we're that age, what are the things we're going to look at our kids and be like, what? That makes no sense. Why are you doing this? But I think also we're one of the biggest generations to question and question authority, but also just like question society and why things are the way that they
meaning
are.
Of life.
How deep you want to get to there, Sarah?
I know.
But I think like generationally, they just don't understand that. And like, it's okay for them not to, but I think that's where it's very hard to like explain yourself, but not feel like you're disappointing, but also like, but it doesn't have to.
And I don't want you to think that my marriage isn't blessed because there's not a cross behind us, you know? It's like, I don't want anybody else watching to feel that way.
You don't want to invalidate her, but you also don't want to invalidate yourself either because this is your wedding day.
Right. I'm like, we're already compromising on a lot here. Like for somebody, again, who didn't grow up religious, like what we are doing, like it works for us. And I think it makes sense for us. So, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
It was so pretty.
Yeah, it was.
So fun.
Which I did hit on this, I don't remember whatever episode it was, but that the ceremony ended up being my favorite part of the day. So I would say, to answer your question now, that moment, honestly, just the little moments between Zach and I. Yeah. So our first look was very, very special. I loved that moment. Our private last dance, we did private last dance while we got everybody outside for the formal exit. I loved our private last dance. I had another moment and it just totally just flew away.
Just flew away.
Oh, we did, to kick off the dance floor, we did the anniversary dance, which is traditional for a lot of people don't do it anymore. Some do, but where you invite all married couples up onto the dance floor.
I'm seeing it a lot again.
Are you?
It kind of like stopped for a while and now it's coming back.
Good. I always ask when we're doing timelines, I'm like, do you want to do the anniversary? Because I loved our anniversary dance. I think it also depends on, do you have a lot of long lasting marriages in your family? Yeah. It's just a way to honor them. But I remember Adri, getting another shout out, after the anniversary dance, she like had to step away because she was getting emotional. And she was like, I have never seen like the dance floor that full for so long for the anniversary dance and honoring those marriages. Yeah.
So there were a lot of people out there.
Yeah. So I think that was a really special moment for us too, just to witness all of that. And we were able to honor Zach's grandparents because their anniversary was that next day. That's and so cool. The fact that Zach's grandmother is no longer living. So that we have that memory with them and documented on video and photo. It's like, that's what it's all about. Yeah. So those are a few of the highlights.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yay.
Enough about me.
Enough about Sarah.
Dom, some of your highlights of either leading up to the day or wedding day itself.
Yeah.
Positive highlights this time.
Positive. Yes. No more stressors.
Yeah. It's okay to talk about those too.
Yes. Yeah. I would say something that kind of just keeps coming back to me as far as like something I'm really happy we did. So Mitch, the only request he had throughout the wedding was to not do a first look, which I didn't really have a big preference on it. So he was like, I really don't want to do a first look. And we had like a long walkway. So it was nice. Looking back, it's kind of funny because I created my own bouquet and it was very tall. So I feel like my flowers were covering my face. And then I had my dad and my stepdad both on my arms and they're like bigger men. So I'm like, here I am.
See, and if you had a day up, if you had a day of corner, they would have been like, all right, hold those belly button height, tilt them forward, don't cover your face.
Exactly.
Put them down.
Yes.
Exactly. But it was special. Another thing that's just like funny to look back at where I'm like, they were poking me in the eyes almost with those little fuzzy things I put on.
You're like sneezing on your way down the aisle.
Literally. But I think I'm really not a big like surprise girl. I don't like a lot of surprises, but I think that's what our wedding day was filled with. So the first was just knowing that we spent the night separately the night before, and then I wasn't going to see him until I literally walked down the aisle. And then we both had gotten rings for each other, and we had no idea what they were going to look like. So to open them for the first time right when we were getting ready to exchange rings, like it was like, oh my gosh, like this, like that's what you got me, that's what you thought
that's
of.
What you think of me and what I would like. And
So, and I'm not wearing it right now because it has a few missing diamonds. So I don't want you to be like, why did you wear a ring?
She hated it.
She didn't like it.
She wasn't happy with your pick, Mitch.
But
4 years later.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Now's a good time to tell you.
Yeah, right by her
Anniversary's coming up if you know what to get me.
But yeah, it just has a few missing diamonds, so I'm not wearing it. But need to get those fixed. And
Add it to the list.
Add it to the list of things. My goodness. And then I don't know if you guys know this about me, and a lot of people probably don't, or maybe could assume or whatnot. But like Mitch and I actually did wait until marriage, which is a long freaking time. I will tell you that. But
How many years were you dating?
Yeah,
You said 6 at the point?
It would have been like right before 7. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean,
That's amazing.
yeah, it was super
Not like that.
special.
Sorry, I'm just saying,
No,
like,
I'm just saying big surprises on the
Yeah,
day.
that's why I'm saying I felt like it kind of led up like each little increment of surprising for the entire day. So
Yeah.
it was, to me, I look back and think like, oh my gosh, okay, I remember we did do a first touch, reading vows, private vows and stuff, but then I I think he wore like a headband or something around his eyes. So I didn't get to see him well, obviously we didn't get to see each other face on. Anyways, we did private vows and then waited to walk down the aisle, and then our rings, and then we waited till marriage to have sex. So
We consummated the marriage.
but that was something we really we wanted, and I think it was special. I think it was hard. I think we had our journey through it, but that was just kind of our story. And I think, the little surprises throughout the day was what was most exciting for me, of just looking back, just thinking like, okay, what's next? And like if I got anxious, because, it's very common to get social anxiety, or at least for me. And so I would just think like, oh, just a little longer until we get to be together, or just a little longer until I get to see my ring. Like I just felt like those were what really kind of stood out to me, of like keeping me grounded and excited and back to just like what we wanted our marriage to be about. So
In what intentional things?
Yeah.
Like those are very
Yeah.
deeply rooted intentional things.
Yeah.
Which is so cool that you had yourself to kind of like remind you of those things throughout the day. If there were things that were stressing out, like your cake that you're like, oh my gosh, I want this, I want that. But then it's like in those moments where you're like,
I'm going to get that cake later.
exactly.
I had to.
Exactly. No, it's true.
This cake doesn't even matter.
Oh my gosh. That's
leave
funny.
it to Sarah.
Leave it to Sarah.
Leave it to
always.
Sarah.
That one may be one of my best
No,
ones.
that was a good one.
Oh, that was so
How long were
good.
you sitting there like, I can't wait to
No,
share
it
this?
just came to mind right
It
away.
just came to mind.
That's how you know I'm like actually have humor. Like I don't have to sit on it. It just comes.
It just
came to
comes.
you. That is so funny.
Anyway, not
So
to make
true.
light of a very important situation.
No, it's so true. Like, everybody knew what we were doing. Like, I mean,
We did
it's our
it.
wedding night.
Oh, passed out
Pa-
instantly.
You did,
Really? Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant
exhausted.
passed out from drinking. I was like, Sarah, that's
No,
not
I didn't
like
even.
you.
I didn't even have a single full drink on my wedding
I didn't
day.
either. I was so anxious.
I wasn't even anxious at that point. It's just I was too busy socializing with everybody, and nobody was bringing me them, so I wasn't going up to the bar to get a drink.
Right.
You know?
I don't really like. I'll maybe have like a glass of wine and mimosa in the morning,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I
Yeah.
kind of don't want to drink on
Yeah.
my wedding day.
You want to be clear.
Yeah, I want to be completely
remember it
present
all.
to remember
Yeah.
everything
And not feel horrible the next day because you're
Exactly.
already just so
Well-
like exhausted from the day itself.
Yeah.
It's like adding alcohol on top of that.
Well, and I don't know why it's such a thing that people are like, drink this, drink that, let's get them drunk. It's like, why are you pressuring that?
Yeah.
Like,
My wedding this weekend was a dry wedding, actually.
I like that.
Like for that reason, she, it was something that was really important to the bride. She was like, I don't want anybody drunk on our wedding
Yeah.
day.
celebration in moderation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, it's just, you can still have a good time. You can have a
Right.
drink. You can have 2 or 3. Like, just maybe you don't want to ruin this day for someone else, but also like, I don't want to get to the end of my wedding day and not remember it.
Right.
Like, it's
Yeah.
fine if it happens, if you're cool, like whatever, but I just
Yeah.
want to remember everything.
Yeah, and kind of like what you said, Sarah, like that you just passed out because of just all the socializing and the big day and just a long
Exhaustion.
day. Yeah, being so exhausted. That's kind of what happened with Mitch and I. Like the next day, I remember we got breakfast and we're both like, we just do not feel the best. And I think it was just, a very long day. And
Well, it's
so,
also just like you're waiting. It's such a build up to
Yeah.
the day
Yeah.
that you have those, they call them the post wedding blues, but you feel that crash.
yeah,
Because your
next
body's
day.
on like overdrive,
Right.
like mentally, emotionally, your adrenaline is going all day long. And then you get to it and you're like, my body hurts because I'm tired, because I'm mentally tired. I probably didn't even eat that much. I didn't like.
It sounds like our post-wedding hangovers as vendors.
Right? Yeah.
But
honestly.
yeah.
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 Yeah. All our yes.
So anyways, that's enough about me.
Are there things you guys would do differently looking back on your wedding?
I think, yeah, I touched a little bit on of just having a day of coordinator and making sure, even if I didn't have a day of coordinator, that would be priority probably one that I would change. But if I decided not to, I would want to be at the venue with all that extra time we had and, you know, assign certain tasks to people to decorate the tables or put the welcome sign out or put whatever on the arbor. Like, I just feel like I said, it just felt really rushed. It was like we were already running behind when we left my house to go to the venue. And then when we got there, it was go time. And then it was about to be ceremony soon. So it was kind of just all rushed. And, you know, I felt bad for my mom too. She's doing so much. And, you know, it's like, okay, well, you need to get dressed and you need to, like, you know, help me put my wedding dress on. And like, you know, I think I just would have done that because I think my mom did a lot like throughout the planning process to help me too. We did a lot of DIYing and things like that. And so just to have like less stress on her, less stress on me, and not leaving the boys in charge, which they did amazing. Shout out the groomsmen. You guys did great, but just maybe need a little woman's touch, you know?
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I think, and then a few other things I was kind of thinking is, yes, I like how you said like the intention, like that reminds me that the intentional side of things that Mitch and I wanted on our wedding day. But I also feel like there could have been a few other things that were intentional. One was we always used to go to Yogurtini for like first dates and stuff. And I'm a big ice cream girl. I know it's yogurt, but you know, it's like ice cream.
Same difference.
Yeah. And Mitch actually isn't, but it was literally, we went probably for, I don't know, 5 years in a row of just always date nights going there, ending with it. And I would have liked some type of ice cream truck or something there that like just symbolized like what we did on our first dates, or just maybe looking at my grandparents and maybe getting something special from them, or I don't know, just a few different touches. And I remember, you know, it kind of made me sad actually, but kind of going back to the body image, rehearsal dinner, I was supposed to wear this cute dress I got off, I think Lulu's, and I had my mom's bow from her dress tied on the back. I didn't like how I looked in it, so I didn't wear it. And I'm like, and I still have it. It's in the closet. I'm like, I'm going to wear it one of these. I should just wear it sometime. It feels weird to wear white.
That's what I was going to say.
Honestly. Yeah. But I'm like, that is so sad because, I mean, like, I literally took that off my mom's dress and put it on my wedding dress. I put it on my rehearsal dress, and literally day of, I was just like, I didn't like it.
Yes, Grace?
Can I take pictures of you and Mitch and you can wear it?
Yeah, you should.
I'm like, that'd be really
so
fun.
sweet.
I want to do that. Want to come too?
Yeah. No, that's just really cute.
I think it'd be really cute to take.
sweet.
And that way you have some pictures of yourself
really
in it.
sweet.
And it also just like for yourself too. Just be like, you know what? I'm wearing this dress and I'm embracing it, and this is me.
Yeah.
And I'm beautiful.
That's
long standing. Whenever you want, whenever it doesn't
love
have to be this
that.
year, but like I would love to do that. That would be so
Thank
fun.
you.
I also just love taking your guys' pictures. Anyway, sorry. I'm going
No,
on a
that is
tangent,
literally
but-
so sweet. That needs to happen now. Thank you. That's so
welcome.
sweet. But yeah, just it makes me sad. I'm like, it was fine. Like, and it was just around my closest people. And again, I think it just shows that body image shouldn't be everything. And I made it everything around my wedding. And it's, yeah, just kind of a little sad piece where I'm like, dang, I should have
Cared less.
Yeah, cared less. Literally put it on and be like, this is for my mom. This is for me. This is special.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Of course. Sorry.
Are we still
Like
there?
it went out. Yes.
She's like, on that note, I'm done.
I
Dom
know,
has
right?
left the chat.
BRB.
I called you Mike.
You called her
I was
Mike?
thinking of like the microphone. I was like, and Mike has, and I said,
I didn't even notice.
good. All right. Don't go back and listen to that.
Oh, I will.
I was trying to say like something
yeah.
about your mic.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Thanks for sharing, Mike.
Yes. I know. I wonder what people listen to. They're like, she definitely meant that. And it's just like, we're just going with it.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
We say it that's what I said about last episode. The one word, I was like, why didn't I just say I'm unlearning?
Yeah.
Like, Grace, it was right there.
It was right
It's every
there.
time.
Yeah.
Give yourself grace.
Give ourselves grace.
It wouldn't be an episode if we don't say, give yourself grace.
Literally.
Hello. Hey, what?
I said, hey.
Hey. Oh, I think you said, hey,
how's it going?
Hey. Get that cake.
Gonna think about that for a while now. That was so funny.
I'm not gonna lie. In my head right now, it's just cake, 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 cake,
cake.
Yeah.
You wanna put a... Okay. Anyways, my day.
Yes,
Things
Sarah.
that changed. That was the question.
Yeah. Would you change anything?
Yes, of course. Who wouldn't? I feel like everybody has like
wouldn't?
one.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how small. I would have done a first look with my brothers.
That's special.
Yep. I look back, I'm like, dang it. I really wish I would have had that moment with them because we are so close. I did a first look with my dad, of course, which
Yeah.
is still very special, but I would have had more of a, planned moment with my brothers as well. So that's something. I also would have done something to honor my mom because she really did. I hit on this earlier, but a ton of the wedding planning, which is surprising since I am a wedding planner. She took the lead on a lot of it. Of course, she wasn't just making decisions without talking to me about it,
Right.
but she did so much, and I'm so grateful for that. And I wish I would have been more hands-on with her throughout that, not just for myself, but for her, so that she could have been planning alongside me and not, making those decisions. No, she didn't make the decisions on her own. So you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been a little bit more involved with her just so we could have those memories together, which
Yeah.
we still, plenty of it was both of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, she definitely took on a lot of that, which she loves planning anyway. So it's not like she was like, you didn't help me enough
Yeah,
or
she
anything
enjoyed
like
it.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I would have done something to honor her, whether it was like a mother-daughter dance or, honor or giving the bouquet and dedication. So I would have done something because
Yeah.
moms, like we hit on, they don't get enough recognition.
They don't.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, those are the two big things. I also, one little thing that in the moment really upset me that I wish I wouldn't have let upset me was our cold sparks didn't work.
Was that your first dance?
Yeah, it was it was supposed to be for our grand entrance, and then
Yep.
they were supposed to go off at the end of our first dance, and then
Yeah.
just like throughout the dance party throughout the night. So I was like going into the grand entrance with like this big vision, like
Yeah.
here's what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
then when it didn't happen, I wish I would have been just still in the moment and not focused on the fact
Yeah.
that the cold sparks didn't go off.
Yeah.
So
Because it's funny because no one else knew they
Yeah.
were even supposed
no,
to.
they like barely like tiny. It was like so anticlimactic. They kind of just.
I don't even remember that.
I don't remember it
Yeah.
either.
Right.
I remember your first dance, part of it, not
Our
the
first
end.
dance
I
was
just remember
really
the first
special
dance
too.
itself.
That our first dance, I feel like the whole room like actually paid attention.
It
to
was
us.
quiet.
And yeah, that was another add it to my other favorite moments of the day. Definitely. Again, just any of those intentional moments with just Zach and I, but with everybody witnessing. Besides our first look, we did do private vows
Yeah.
during our first look too, so I highly recommend doing that
Yeah.
too. But
It's special.
yeah, so that's just like one like little nitpicky thing where I'm like, dang it, we did get a refund. Thank you.
As you should.
As I
But
should.
sometimes
As we
you're
should,
you're
but-
just in shock, and then it just kind of hits you, and then it's like, okay, the next thing's happening. But
You don't really have time to think about
Yes.
stuff, but in your head, it's back there.
this
and you're
was
like,
supposed to happen and it didn't happen.
Yes.
Dang
because it was
it.
something that you were looking forward to.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, something so small that it's totally fine.
But it felt big to you, and that's okay.
Yeah. But shout out to Cindy Scott, who did our live wedding painting. She included the cold sparks, and they were very big and grand. So,
Very
so
big and
looking
grand.
back at our painting of our wedding
loved
day
your
that's in our
Christmas
living room,
I
I
love
get to see
it.
my cold sparks every day. So
Yeah.
I love that painting.
So
I know, it's so
really,
cool.
I guess
It's
it
so
happened
cute.
then because it's in the painting.
did.
So
It did.
Exactly.
There you
I'm just
go.
gonna trick my brain. Yeah, those are the things that come to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This week's For Better or For Worse, we're going to do sparkler exits.
For worse.
For worse.
I'm mainly coming from a photographer's
Yeah.
standpoint.
Okay, you go first, Grace.
Don't give drunk people fire. It's like hurting cats, not even children, cats. But also, if you want to do it, do it. Don't do it for the photos. Because, in my opinion, they never turn out. It's always just kind of a jumble. Like, just do it and have that memory and let it live in memory. You don't need it photographed. I get it. It's fun. It's cute. But half the time, in my opinion, it just doesn't look how people think it's going to. And so when people tell me, I'm like, that's totally fine. Here's what it's going to look like. And I've had some brides that are like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, it's not that Pinterest photo that was AI edited to look like a sparkler send-off. Obviously, I'm very passionate about it. I've
Thank you so much for asking.
Some of my friends have done sparkler send-offs, and their photo video team was not there. And I'm like, this is great. And it's on
Yeah.
your phone, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it just for the sake of doing it, absolutely do it. I don't, in my opinion, don't do it just for the photo op.
Yeah.
For worse. Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and just second everything you said. For worse, agreed from a
Nothing to
videographer
add, no notes.
standpoint.
I don't want to have fire
Yeah.
over my head
Yeah.
in my very expensive equipment. People are just kind
Literally.
of jerks about it sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you realize how rude this is? No, you're drunk.
Yeah,
You shouldn't have fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. That's it.
Yeah, no notes. I actually had, sorry, going off, not on a tangent, but related to sparklers. When I was still managing the venue, I had a guest walk inside with the lit sparkler.
Wow,
And I was like, you need to go outside, ma'am. She's just
that's
hammered.
a no-no.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, bow down.
Oh, that's okay.
How did I not see that fly off?
It's right behind you.
It's okay.
fine.
Okay, so I'm also going to say for worse, but I think having a formal exit itself is for better. So I'm going to
Yes.
do a little twofold. So sparklers for all the reasons that you mentioned.
Yes.
Sometimes they don't even work. They're just like you get a faulty pack and you're like, well,
And it takes too long to light.
I
and
bought
it's
all
just,
of these and I can't even use them. Great.
Yeah.
But yeah, some sort of a formal exit, absolutely, because it gets everybody outside of the venue.
Yes.
It's a hard end time. It's
Yes.
not like the lights are just going to go on and everybody's in there like,
No
oh,
one's
we're kicked out. Yeah. And I also, again, we did a private last dance. So that was when we did that. We did a
Yeah.
send off. Our venue didn't allow sparklers. So we didn't even have that option. We just did like ribbon wands.
Yeah.
And that was something that my mom really wanted. She wanted bells tied to them. And it was for, like, I guess there's a movie. It's like every time a bell rings, the angel gets its
It's a Christmas
wings.
movie. What is
That's
it?
what it is.
It's
Yes.
Aw.
Christmas Story? No.
Nope. No. What is
Ralphie?
it? Shoot.
Oh, Christmas, a Miracle on... No?
Miracle on 31st
Street.
Street. On that numbered street.
I've never
Anyway.
heard of that.
Anyways, my mom, that was something she was very excited about. So I
Yeah.
said, that sounds great. I don't have an opinion. Let's do it. But yeah, it's a good way to get everybody out. And then
Yes.
Zach and I had that last private dance where it was just us in the venue. And yeah, got to really soak it all in. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I like bubbles, confetti, ribbons,
anything
Yeah.
other than fire?
anything other than sparklers.
Yeah.
Just think about it.
Yeah.
Just think
about it.
Just think about it. If you
Just
want
some
it,
food
do
for
it.
thought.
But just think about it.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
that's all I got. no other
That's all I
thoughts?
got. No notes, as Sarah would say.
No
notes.
No notes.
No
I know.
notes.
You do say that.
10
I
out of
love
10.
that.
I also
I know,
say
you do.
100%.
100%.
I say that
I've
a
been
lot.
saying that
You
a
say it
bunch now.
in a while.
I've been saying
I've been trying to
bunch.
tone it down. I'm good. You can take over for me.
No, it's
I'm sure
not
it'll be
good.
back eventually.
It's not good.
Try to be more aware of the
Yeah.
phrases that I say over and over again and maybe like try some new ones.
I know. I've been
Expand
trying to
that vocab.
keep track of my I know it just comes
yeah.
out, but I think I just need to talk a little slower and not.
Think about what I'm
Yeah.
going to say. Yep, I'm the same way.
But
Yeah, but you know what? We're not going to pick ourselves apart.
We're
no, we
not.
aren't.
It's fine if
No,
we
no,
say
no.
the same phrases over and over again.
Exactly.
Who are we trying to
I
please?
say exactly a lot. That's one.
You both said it at the same time.
we
Yeah,
did.
I'm feeling
I wasn't
it.
going to say anything because I'm the same way.
Yeah. Of course we are. But
Yes.
well, next time, or actually when this episode is out, you'll be a year older.
I'll be 27.
Dear and wiser.
Thanks for singing me out. Maybe that's what we need to do every time. Sing us out, Sarah.
Sing us out.
No, Dom too, not just Sarah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Grace.
Great.
Gosh.
Shit.
Grace, for your birthday,
You know what?
you
I'll
can
just leave.
sing us out.
I'll just see you guys later. No, I will not be. For my birthday, I would love you
You'll-
both to sing me out.
Okay. What song would you like?
Oh, shit.
No, you have to pick because it's your birthday. Yeah, sorry, putting the pressure
Happy
on.
birthday? I don't know.
No, that's so boring.
I don't know what song.
Do you want like Marilyn Monroe version?
No.
I'm
No.
scared. I don't know if I can keep up with Sarah now.
No. Stop
I'm
it.
giving myself the ick right now.
It's giving me the ick because we're watching Breaking Bad, and there's a scene that someone sings it, and it's just like cringe.
Okay, so you don't
Just
want
like,
that.
no,
Okay, so
don't
you
want
don't
that.
want Happy Birthday, so pick a different song.
Fuck.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot.
I don't make decisions.
First song that comes to mind.
What's the song that makes you
it's
think of
one
me?
that I know.
Ooh, why are you putting it back on me?
I don't want to make the decision, Sarah.
I got a pocket full of sunshine. I got a love and I know that it's all mine. Oh,
Ooh, whoa. 2, 3, 4. Do what you want, but you're never gonna break me. Sticks and stones are never gonna shake me.
We'll see you next week.
Ooh, whoa. 2, 3. Take me away.
the sweet escape.
The sweet escape. Keep going.
The sweet escape.
The sweet escape.
What is it? I don't know.
Take
was
me
beautiful,
away.
guys. Thank you.
I can't hit the high notes, but anyways, we love you.
Oh
Happy
my gosh.
birthday.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
love you.
Thank
Can't
I
wait
love
to
you guys.
celebrate you.
Yay. I love you guys so much.
All right. See you
Bye,
next
guys.
week.
Bye.